Okay, so right, I'm just making this video here for the course and disclaimer. For my future self reference, um, to be realistic, just like in a goal, like a goal in the future, we're gonna be reflect this and essentially making a course as a disclaimer and a realist before you coming all the way into teaching or not even teaching. You just put this into a real world, or for all I know, right? All right, so let's get into it. So the forex market or any financial market at all. The things that you heard from the majority of people out there are fucking bullshit. Uh, just straight up fucking bullshit. Okay, it's not gonna make you money over time, long term or short term. The way the market works is because humans are involved, people are involved. There are buyers and there are sellers. Just like a regular supermarket, just like a regular store, your store, the broker, needs people to buy their products. They need people to buy the products so they can make money. They can pay for the rent, they can pay for their, suppliers, right? And they continue to evolve. The brokers needs you, or the supermarkets, the store needs you. They need the buyers, and they also need the sellers. For example, the suppliers has the seller. Right? It's just a vague example. It may not reflect, but the suppliers are the sellers and the buyers are us as a consumer. It reflects pretty much 100%, not 100%, but it reflects very well on the same wavelength in the financial market. And you need to understand this because humans are prone to emotions. If you open a store, you sell apples, there are gonna be buyers from everywhere start coming in, right? I may buy one apple, she may buy two apples. The family is gonna buy a whole load of apples, right? And there may be, just maybe, another guy. I don't know. He really likes apples, or he's a reseller that see a price difference somewhere, right? He goes in and he asks to buy a whole case, a whole block of apples, right? Basically a whole case, two case, three case for his another business of his, right? A reseller or something. But there are a multitude and diversity inside of that, store. You don't know who's gonna come and buy. You know how many apples they're gonna buy, right? You know the purpose, right? You just know that they're gonna buy the apples. The same goes as the forex market. Same goes as the stock market or any financial markets. You're going to see that you cannot predict things. You cannot predict things. And if the forex market can't be predicted, then it's not going to be a market. No market is going to be a market if you can predict things and you can, you know, unorganically manipulate the price so that you can 100% going to predict where it's going to go all the fucking time. That's not going to happen. Well, you can say that, people are going to manipulate their stocks. People are going to, big banks are going to manipulate and stop you out. No, they're not going to stop you out. And here's why. The stop loss needs to be where the stop loss needs to be. It's it's a basic thing, right? It's a really basic thing. And let's give you an example here. This one is a really bright example. This 15 minutes order block, right? You can take a sell here and you have a stop loss real a few pips up here and just take profit right here. They push up to the stop loss, right? Say that they are owing after you. Well, are they though? Well, if you say this is a really micro time frame though, so it's not gonna, happens that well. But essentially, in a bigger time frame where the liquidity lies a lot, price was up here, and they're gonna see, oh, so the problem is liquidity. They need people to get stopped out, right? They need a lot more volume to come back in the market so that they can place and fill their orders in. Imagine dealing with billions and dollars, billions, trillions of dollars. They need to fill the orders in. So what did they do? An option is that they can wait for price to come there and stop people out where the price would usually stop people out, where people would usually place their stop loss, right? Well, here's the thing. They have options. They can one, manipulate or not manipulate because they have so much money, because they have so much fund. They can push the price up, right, by buying in the liquidity. So essentially, people are selling here, but because they have so much money, they buy in just like a stock. It's appreciate in values. And what it does is that it takes a lot of them out, and they are going to place the sell orders in, and they go to exit out of their buys position, right? Or they can hold it, but essentially it's just a little push. That's just a little push, and that's all it takes, right? That is all it takes. So essentially, they go to go up there, stop a loss of people out, and essentially where people are usually placing is their stop loss. They to regain their liquidity, right? And have more liquidity into the market and more volume, and they go to place a lot of sell orders in. And now market's going to drop all the way down. They can either cancel out the previous buys or the previous push or what we call manipulation. They can cancel that out, and now a lot of people are going to sell in. Most of the chances are they are going to fill it because, well, it's just stop a lot of people out, right? So they can push the price up, stop people out, regain liquidity, push price back down again, basically cancel out the previous position in a loss, whatever, right? But they still gonna fill the position in, and that's how the market works. You say, well, they are manipulating, right? Yes, they are, because it's in a way not manipulation. It's just really simple. It's just human psychology and this things that happens over and over and over again. And they want to push and make that move so that they can fill in the price. They can fill in and then they can make a sell, right? With a little bit of a loss. But what it does is that it can fill in their price action and then, can push it down and make them more of a profit, maybe one or two or some profit, right? They're gonna hold the sell in. And unlike us, the retail traders, we're gonna have to wait for confirmations here, right? And that's what the way I trade as well. I wait for confirmation or some kind of reconfirmation, right? We are not going to ride with the market all the time. And that's just the way it happens, right? That's just the way the market works. And yeah, I can't really tell you how. I can't really tell you why. It's just the way it works. There's so many people, so many entities that involves in the buying and selling of the market. Is that it just create a whole diversity of things. That's why it's called the market. The market could not be called a market or any market at all if it's not diverse, if it's not included of everything else, right? Would you walk into supposedly a store that only sells one product, right? That's so predictable, right? It's so predictable is that it's not even a market anymore. You go into a store, you're going to see them all sell oranges, right? It's the orange store. That can be called a store, but it be called cannot be called a diverse a supermarket. It's not be called a supermarket. It's just a store that sells oranges, and you can argue that their transaction going back and forth, buying and selling, but they only sell oranges, and over time, right? People who only go there is people who wants oranges, right? It's easy to predict. It's so easy to predict in fact that if people are going here because it has to have some kind of value into it, right? If they're selling the oranges so expensive, they're not gonna buy it, right? Why would they go in to buy some expensive oranges while they can go to another place? Even if it's expensive, it has to be tastier than another place, right? But then another place can get competitive, and basically that's how the market works. And macro market is that store is not gonna last for long because it's not diverse, and they cannot diversify their oranges because it has to have something standing out. It has to be affordable and it has to be tasty as well. So the other supermarket is going to slowly adapt, and because they have so many different products, it's not going to drown them, right? If their one product doesn't sell, it doesn't matter, right? But that orange store is going to shut down and they cannot be running for long because they only have one, and that is the power of diversity, and that goes along with everything else. And basically, the forex market is the same thing, right? You can see this everywhere, and once you see this happening in every single aspect of our lives, you're gonna look at this differently. You're gonna look at the way the world works, the way your work works, the way you see normal supermarket works, the way you see your car works, just the way you see the world going around and just how it works. There are different hierarchies and different stages that people are dealing with that are different. So there's no grand holy grail way of trading because I can guarantee you right now the thing you're gonna go and see in the course itself, or not the course, it's just some educational um, forex information that you can find, right? I'm just a small source, but the thing you're gonna find here, or any other YouTube videos or any other courses, right? They're not gonna guarantee you to make money. They're not gonna make you a profitable trader just by looking and studying from one system, because fundamentally you are a different human being than them. The way they trade, the way they are going to teach you, they're not going to pour all the secrets out. Right? They're not going to pour exactly how they trade, right? They're gonna not going to pour, how they look at the market. It may be outdated, it may be not. The way the thing works is that most traders out there, or profitable traders, and like me, I will not, I cannot, let's say this, I cannot express what is it like to trade profitably, right? I cannot express what is it like to be a trader because I have developed and become second nature with this pair, for example, GDP USD. It has become such of a routine to me that I can't really describe the bond. Some things you can't really describe it when you love somebody, but you can't really describe it, right? You love your family, you love your mother, you love your father, love your brothers, love your sister, but in a way you can't really express it, right? It's a bond with them, even if you argue for such shit, right? For some stupid ass shit, but at the end of the day, the bond, the roots will keep the relationship going, right? The same goes as I am with any other thing, right? The way you trade or the way you do your work is the same thing. I'm a welder. At first, it may be hard, but slowly over time, it becomes second nature. I can do this thing easily, right? I can't explain it. It's just through experience, and you are going to adapt different things. It's just gonna work for you, right? You're going to adapt, and you experience things. You can always come back to how you were before. So essentially, that's how I'm gonna say it with GU, with my relationship with this pair, is that I have traded this pair for years, and it works for me, and I have developed as a second nature, as a bond that I can't really explain it fully to you guys. The way I can only do this is just say and disclose that the forex market is not guaranteed. The things you're going to learn here is not going to work for you. The thing that I'm going to give you here, the value I'm going to give you, the educational thing that I'm going to give you here about the forex market is not going to help you 100%. It's not going to help you. And at the end of the day, if you come out on the other side as a profitable trader, if you come out on the other side trading in the market for a long time and you become profitable, right? But you are profitable for a year, 2 years, 3 years, for example. But let's say you're a profitable trader for half a year or 2 year, right? You look back, and I can guarantee you this: you're not going to be the same. It's like giving a first grade math problem to a PhD math professor, right? It's not gonna be the same. They're gonna solve it immediately, or even if they can't solve it because it's such a first grade question or such a trick question for a fifth grader, right? The thing it can, because it's not on the same wavelength. They're on a whole different level. Just them, to them, it's just so simple. To them, it's just so small that they shouldn't even care about. And to them, it's just so something that's so fundamental. It's to them is just so normal, right? You can explain it in a beat, or you can just basically adapt to it and study it again, and basically explain the whole thing to you. That's how experienced they are. The same go with everything else, every profession, and just basically everything out there, right? The longer you are in something, you're going to develop yourself the same way you're going to learn it. You're going to be one with the trade. You're going to be one with your work. You're going to be one with anything you do. So that becomes the second nature. Sorry, I started. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I'm trying to get out here. Is that the educational information you're going to get from me is not going to work for you or the majority of you, because at the end of the day, if you come out on the other side, like I said, a few months to a year, you're consistently making money and you can turn to a profitable and become like a full-time trader. You're gonna look back, and I can guarantee you again, you're not gonna see the market the way that you just started, because it's going to be so diverse the way you're going to look at it. Sir, you're going to have 50%, 80% of your trading strategy the same way, right? But the way you look at the market is different. The way you look at certain things, the way you look at certain moves, the way you feel about how certain move is gonna happen, how you feel the market is gonna trick you, and how you can see things. You can, basically be uncertain, but you're also certain at the same time, so that you're going to take as, what you want or what you can from the market. You're going to let go, and that is the trade from a trader. A most successful trade from the trader is to constrain, to basically know your limits, set profit targets, and know when to step away from the market. Know your limits and know what the market is doing. Knows the potential that the market can do, and harvest it every single step along the way. Don't be immersed into it, right? I can say, I guess there's no holy, again, there's no holy grail. There's no one way to trade. The market, it moves, it adapts. You adapt. The market adapts. The base, yeah, the same way. Go with everything else in the world. Every single thing in the world. Supermarket the same way, right? If, for example, it's just discovered that a plague has spread among the pigs, and the pigs are 99% chance are going to get infected if it's going to be exposed and really high risk, and a third of the pigs population are infected in the world. What are you going to do? You're not going to eat pork, right? You're not going to eat it. You're not going to buy it. You're not going to consume it. So the price of pork is going to drop tremendously. That's the first thing. And they're going to basically kill all the pigs, kill all the supplies of pigs that that are affected, and going to test the pigs, test the meat. And so the price of it going to be driving down, and the consumer is going to adapt to it, right? The consumer is not gonna buy because it's just a concern to their health. They're not gonna buy. So same goes with the forex market, right? They adapt over time. Then something happens, they're gonna drive the market the other way. The news, fundamentally, news are what's basically what I just want to say. News are what drive the markets, because currencies, and they have to have like um, positive outlook, negative outlook, stuff like that in macro time frame, right? Things that drive the market we do not know. And you can see here that that's why when you see all these courses, that's why when you see all these YouTube videos and such, they're giving you examples. They're not giving every single time frame of why the market moves like that, right? And the in between, they're giving you specific examples. They're giving you a random example that pops up basically out of nowhere, right? And the setup you need to look for. Exactly. That's exactly what you want to look for. A setup. You're not gonna trade in the market all the time, every single second. You're not gonna trade. That's a reality. It has to match up a certain criteria to trade. That basically means that every single second there's a trade happening. There's a way to drive the market, and you're not studying that strategy. And that's the way the market works. It's uncertain, and you can't really think about it. Markets adapt, right? The traders adapt. Experienced traders are going to adapt, like me and other people who are profitable and experienced. They're going to adapt with the market because they have the baseline. But as beginners, it's so hard. I can't stress you enough. It's hard to learn because it's adapting all the time. That's why you need to set in stone one way of trading, one strategy, one setup, and backtest it. If it works for you, good. Just slowly evolve from that. Just how I've been doing, right? So, like I said, I'm not trying to sell you anything because I don't need to sell you anything, right? I'm just basically giving you this educational thing as a way on the side that you can study. And there's a disclaimer that you need to study, you need to backtest, you need to demo trade over and over and over. I'm not gonna give you my way of trading, of course, right? That's my bread and butter. I'm not gonna give you the way I'm trading because that's how I develop it. Just like you, if you have your trade secrets, if you have your business, would you open it to another person? If you have a secret that makes you millions of dollars, if you have a business that has something on the side that's so different than other vendors, if you have a way of farming, if you have a way of developing tech, would you give that secret away to another person? Of course not. Of course, you're not going to do that. You may give it to somebody you really care about. You may guide that person specifically that you've chosen to be very careful with, and you maybe go in time and trust them. In terms of this age, internet is just everywhere. I cannot trust any of those people. I cannot trust even you guys. I can't trust anybody, right? Let alone my own people. I couldn't trust my own people to even pass down the wave train because, frankly, they're not gonna be profitable, right? Frankly, they're not gonna become traders. They're not gonna be, normal traders. They're going to choose something else. So you need to prove yourself and you need to learn how to trade. You need to adapt your own way of trading. This is the way that I'm going to teach you guys here. The fundamental of the markets, the way the market moves, the different ways how the market operates and the diversity of the market, and essentially how you can, you know, take from the market and you just jank it off and then just take it away, right? Just take it and then you go leave it. Essentially, I'm going to go into different way of trading that can mold you into a consistent trader, not become a huge risk anymore. You're going to trade and risk basically manageable risk. You're going to manage your risk. You're going to trade, going to manage it, where to take profit, going to manage and basically give you the understanding of the market and how this ruthless can be, how it can be so severe and it can make you become homeless basically and put everything into it, make you addictive to this. So, like I said, the market is ruthless and you gotta prepare yourself for the market, okay? I'm not going to give you my exactly 100% blueprint of how I'm trading because, frankly, I can't really do that. And like I said, it's a bond that you can't really explain. It's a bond to with the market. It's a bond with your loved ones. You can't really explain. The same goes for this. I can even if I want to explain it to you guys, even if I have found a really trusty person that I want to pass it down, just like a student and a teacher, student master. You're going to pass the principle down, but the student is going to adapt it a different way, right? They're going to learn your principles, or they may evolve it and enhance it, right? That's how it has always worked. The students are most likely going to make it better. So, in order to gain the trust, it's going to take a lot of time. So I'm not gonna going to give you, I can't, frankly, again, I can't really give you a full blueprint of how I'm trading because that's just straight up throwing my dedication, not respecting my time for just right out the window and burning it to the ground, just like burning my business to the ground. Because essentially, if you learn how to do this and you can scale it up, you ruin it because the market. I've discovered something about the market and take advantage of it, and now it explodes to the world and everybody knows it. The market's gonna adapt a different way, and I'm not gonna make money off of it. You see how it goes all the way around. Even if you say somebody's 100% transparent about the way they trade, of course not. They're not gonna be transparent. I'm gonna just be 100% honest with you from the get go, so that you know what I'm aiming for. You know the values that I stand for, so that you're not gonna be misguided of what you are seeing here. sure, you can step away, or sure, you can stay, and I'll be gladly going to provide you with all this information, and you can take whatever you know take whatever you want, study if you will, and basically become profitable or even try to be. Essentially, yeah, it's your choice. If you want to come in bad, go ahead. If you want to come in good, go ahead. Right? It's your choice. But I'm going to say it here. I'm not going. So say it here. Conclude. In conclusion, been a long video. That's just my habit of just talking shit over and over. But yeah, in conclusion, the market, the forex market, stock market, bonds market, right, futures market, any financial market, real estate market, supermarket, whatever fucking market, right, is out there. It reacts the same way because there are buyer and sellers. Because they're so diverse, because there are different entities involved inside of the market. That's why it's called a market, right? There wouldn't be a market if there is no diversity, right? If it's so predictable, that would collapse immediately. So that's the way of the market and how it works. Second, the market is rootless. You need to know and restrain yourself when you come into market, and you need to know when you go out, when to go in, just like a shopping list. You go in and you buy certain things and you get out, right? You're going to think what you're gonna eat, and you go into the market. You're gonna buy and you get out, check out. Sometimes there may be good deals. There may be, like I said before, buy two get one for $1. You say, oh, I'm getting this all the time. I'm trading this pair all the time. So might as well just get it. Just get this deal, just like the way the more forex market works. Sometimes a trade is good and projection is good, then you'll go to hold a trade, right? You hold a trade and it works out. If it doesn't work out, you always get your stop at 1 or 3 anyways, right? So sometimes if it's a good deal, take it. Third thing is that I'm not going to give you a blueprint 100% of how I'm trading because frankly, I can't. I can't because it's gonna first expose the way how I read the market. It's gonna basically spill out a secret, burn my business down, burn the whole thing, the basically my whole squirrel, my life work out of the window, just because I want to talk about the market, just because I spilled it out there. So no, I'm not gonna put 100% blueprint out there because if I'm trading with a lot of money, I'm gonna be a market maker. I'm gonna make the move. That means that if there are a lot of people who are